those of you who've seen my classes before, I like to do the soil temperature because that's the best indicator for me at this time of year of what I can plant. And in February and March when I taught the classes, the temperature in my soil was 48 degrees. Now I think I'm cooler where my particular microclimate is than you guys here in Stanley because I'm farther away from the ocean. So your soil may be warmer this time of year than mine. And ta-da! My temperature's all the way up to 52 now. So I'm really excited. Yes, it's still too cool to plant many crops, but there's more crops you can plant in April than you can in March, obviously. Some areas will achieve their frost-free date, which in some areas, we're kind of between April 15th and May 1st. So some of you may, during this month, get frost-free. Now, that doesn't mean you can go out and put your tomatoes out there, and we'll talk, again, I'll talk about that next month, but that's a key day. Another indicator, because our weather is so unpredictable, is apple trees in bloom. Usually the trees can tell, the apple trees, not all of your fruit trees, but they can kind of tell when it's safe to bloom, and your blossoms will come out after that, the danger of frost is passed. Really? I usually like to, yeah, but the plum trees, their blossoms are not damaged by frost. And so usually the plum trees, there's peaches and some of the other ones, if they bloom too early, they'll be damaged by frost. And sometimes they get fooled into thinking that it's okay, they'll bloom, and then you won't get any fruit that year off of those trees. So that's one reason why peaches are marginal on the side of the mountain, but I still like to grow them. Yeah?
Does this apply equally to seeds and starts with soil temperature?
No. This is for seeds. This is based on the seed germination temperatures, and you'll see in the charts that I have coming up. I love when people ask questions and then the next slide gets the answer. I just love it. Thank you, Ellen. The best soil temperatures. This is optimum. So you can see, like here's the arugula rocket. So it can now germinate. And you'll see the SO means you can sow it directly outside. The broccoli, TC means you can transplant it, but I really prefer to have it covered with something like the remake. 2 reasons: to kind of protect that seedling from temperature extremes. Even though the seeds can germinate in this soil at this time of year, if it's 55, I'm not quite there in my garden yet. I like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, all those things I like to put the row cover on because it protects from those cabbage worms that we saw in a previous slide. In spite of my best efforts, there's the DNF here means data not found. I looked and looked and could not. Of course, this was a very unusual vegetable that most people don't grow. So that apparently, not that I could find any information on what soil temperatures were required for germination. On the artichokes, the Chinese and the Jerusalem artichokes, the NA means that you're usually planting tubers and the germination temperature is not a factor. So I do have a section on herbs at the end of this list, but you can see there's a lot of things you can plant in the garden right now, even if you can't put out some of your other crops. Some of the crops like cucumbers and eggplants, you'll see over here the temperature is quite a bit higher. It's in the soil temperature is. So you need to sow those inside. Obviously, you can't put them outside. So if you're starting those from seed, you need to start those inside. And even later in the year, even if you've reached that frost-free date of April 15th or May 1st, whenever that occurs, you either buy the transplants or start them inside because even at that point, the soil is not warm enough to germinate those seeds. So that's the reason when you see many of these other kinds of melons is another one. Let me go to the next slide with the melons. You can see you really need very warm soil for the melons. So that means you either start those seeds inside yourself or you buy them already as transplants.
So
Yes.
outside means that you can you can go ahead and plant the transplant and not, I mean, you can either do seed or transplant.
In most cases, yes. I'm trying to think of where that wouldn't be a case. In practice, I do that. The charts that I was using for my source material did not specifically state that. I've got one more chart I've located that's a little bit more specific, so the next time I teach this class, I'll probably put more information about transplants. Yeah.
What's SC?
That's to sow it out covered, and that was the small seed. The small seed means covered like something with remade. Previous month, I had a capital C, and that meant it had to be sowed in a cold frame, which provides more protection than something like this row cover. Yeah.
Do you think the row cover also will help protect your plants from the destruction of these little bulbs?
No, because they come up through the soil.
Oh, they come up
I mean,
underneath.
and they can probably crawl underneath. Yeah, I don't think they'll protect from voles. They may protect from rabbits. The voles are so tiny, I think that they can get under. Normally, when I'm putting this under, you know, you put it over a hoop, and then I use those staples. Have you seen those staples that anchor it
Yeah.
on the side of the back? So that would probably keep rabbits out, but it wouldn't keep the voles out because you couldn't put one of those staples. I mean, it would just
Yeah.
those staples cost too much money. Let's see what else I've got. I do want to talk. Let's see. Quinoa and amaranth are two of my favorite unusual vegetables, and both of those are ancient. They're not really grains in the sense that they are from the grass family, but they produce grain-like seeds. And once you get them in the garden, they keep self-seeding, and then the leaves are very nutritious, and then if you let them go to seed, the seed can be used as a very nutritious grain. So that's amaranth and quinoa. If you're adventurous and experienced gardener, and they're very easy to grow, by the way. And my husband even likes them in salads.